How we doing, Dolphins fans? 1-0. What a game. I can't think of a better way to word it than the Dolphins outlast the Chargers 36-34. Man, you're either having high blood pressure right now, maybe your beer cooler is empty. Whatever your deal is, whatever your situation is, man. What a game. What a wild experience for week one, nonetheless. We've had some wild games in the past. Week two from last year, that game with Tua and the Ravens and everything. Man, give us a couple of weeks to ease our way into the season before you do something to like this to us Dolphins. Who lots to unpack, lots to get to. I'm gonna hit as I do in these recap videos, top takeaways. But man, like I said, a game like that, there's just so much to get to. I'm gonna try to keep this around 10 minutes. I could probably talk about this game for a good hour if you had the time. But like I said, I want to keep it around 10 minutes before I get into my takeaways, my notes from the game. Got to hear from you as well. Drop your thoughts, your top takeaways, everything from the Dolphins 36-34 victory over the Chargers. And remember, a comment gives you a chance to win this signed Jaelan Waddle 8x10. We're going to be doing the giveaway in this video of next week. So the recap against the New England Patriots on that Sunday night game. I am recording this Sunday after the game. However, after the game was a little bit wild, I had some things I had to get to, so it's probably not going to get released until Monday morning. So thank you for dealing with my little bit of delay. I really want to talk about the defense. I want to talk about the run defense, especially, but I gotta talk about the offense first. I'm sorry. Because I tell you what, that offense remains potent. I watched a lot of football on Sunday, obviously, because we didn't have a game in the early slot. And thank you to the Sunday ticket that now gives you the multi-view game. I was watching like 7, 8 games at once. And you know what I saw? I saw a lot of poor offensive line play. I saw a lot of questionable decisions from quarterbacks. I don't want to necessarily say incompetent offense, but just not like ready to start the season type of offense. And that's to be expected. That your defense is usually ahead. Well, guess what? Our defenses were behind. We're going to talk more about that. But Tua goes 28 of 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that one ill-advised interception. I tell you what, it's probably not best to throw jump ball situations to a guy like Braxton Berrios. But I tell you what, you throw for 466 yards and 3 touchdowns, I'm going to let that one slide. And then Tyreek, we all know it. We know what he does. He wants 2,000 yards. Jeez, he put a dent in it today. 215 yards, 2 touchdowns on 11 receptions. And Tua and Tyreek, for only playing with each other for what, a season and a game now, and less than that because of the games that Tua missed last year, their connection is unbelievable. And we know what it is. It's those timing routes through the middle, the deep balls that they can get down the sideline. But I tell you what, there were some stretches where that timing got off a little bit last year, and it wasn't flourishing. But man, they improved on that. We saw a little bit back when Tua came back, and then early in that Packers game last year on Christmas, and then obviously just jumped right back into it today. And think about who kind of disrupted that timing and everything last year. Well, it was this Chargers defense. And what do we got to do today? And to see Tyreek and Tua connect like that offense, that pairing is just explosive. And this isn't going to take anything away from Jaelan Waddle, but Tyreek Hill right now is just on a different planet. I love 17. I love Jaelan Waddle. I hope to God that he can become as potent as a guy like Tyreek Hill is someday, because right now their connection is unbelievable. And that offense, like I said, it's just potent. Look at our offensive drives. We had a fumble near the goal line because of the second terrible snap within the first drive. Got to clean that up. First and foremost, we got to clean that. But we should have had points on that drive. Then you go touchdown, field goal, 3 and out with a punt, the one punt, by the way. Then we go touchdown, field goal. We have the red zone interception, ball Tua shouldn't have thrown. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a second. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, victory formation. That's a score or a red zone trip / probably should have been at least a score in 9 out of 10 drives when you don't count the victory formation drive. What? Did you watch the early slate of games as well? What offense was doing that? This is like we said, this is This was the Chargers team that kind of slowed us down last year. They were the ones that kind of put that blueprint out. And to have a scoring opportunity in 9 out of your 10 drives is simply incredible. I loved that. But I tell you what, maybe my favorite stat of the game was 0, because you know what that was? Remember Tua when he did that last year with the offensive lineman? 0 sacks allowed. So shout out to Kendall Lamb and to Austin Jackson, because we talked about this game and what was the mismatch of the day? It was those two against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Did you hear those names? No, you didn't. And while the offensive line play wasn't flawless by any means, you still got to give them credit. And who else you got to give credit to? Props to Mike McDaniel for that game plan and helping in those situations with Bosa and with Matt. Because in the preview videos, I said, the way to kind of to get around that, maybe not let them come flying off the edge, get the running game going. Well, guess what? We didn't get the running game going, and he still found ways, whether it was getting the ball out quick, strategically using play action passes, chipping with guys, helping with other guys, moving the pocket a little bit. Whatever he was drawing up was working, because that stat of 0 was right there. And we'll finish up the offense by talking about that run game, because unfortunately, it's still not there what we saw in preseason games, especially those first two where we were committing to the run game, and we were committing to it big time, and it was producing. We wondered, is it going to translate? Is the commitment going to translate? Is the production going to translate? And it didn't. It really didn't. It was 20 carries, 70 yards. That's only 3.5 yards per carry. And there were times, and I don't want to overreact because it was week 1, felt a little bit abandoned. There was a stretch in time when Tua missed 4 or 5 in a row. Some of those passes felt like predetermined, like, hey, I am going here. I'm going to Tyreek in this situation. I'm going to fit something into Durham Smythe here. There was a little bit of a lull there where it kind of felt like you were abandoning the run game. So that's one thing from this offense. Like I said, I don't want to poo-poo on this offense right now, but that's one thing that I'd like to see improved on, because if you don't, you potentially fall into the same trap that we did last year, where it's you rely on Jaelan Waddle and Tyreek Hill and that passing offense so much. Because while it's great to win like we did today, trust me, I had a blast watching that game. You're not going to win all of those games. And here's a big reason why. Because the run defense struggled, and it struggled hard. The Chargers ran 40 times for 234 yards. That's 5.9 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. You're not going to lose many games when you run with that type of consistency and production. So like I said, we're not going to be able to win these types of games like this. We were probably the outlier when you look at how great the Chargers ran the ball. They were gashing us everywhere, but especially up the gut. And it was concerning to me. It's because it was happening when Sieler and Wilkins and Davis were in there, and it didn't matter who was running it either. Eckler had 117 yards, 7.3 yards per carry. Joshua Kelly, who is a fine running back, but at the end of the day, he is a backup running back, went for 91 on 5.7 yards per carry. We talked about the Dolphins' run defense, and maybe not necessarily being super concerned about Eckler as a runner as much as a pass catcher, but man, he gave us plenty of reasons to be concerned with him on the ground. So that's something that I want to see fixed, worked upon next week. Because when we play the Patriots, I haven't gotten the chance to look at their film yet, their game really at all. They played at the same time as the Dolphins. Didn't have much of an eye on it. I just know that they lost. Woohoo! But we'll get more to that throughout the week. But I tell you what, the defense stepping up when it mattered, because I want to talk about that last Chargers drive here, because we all know what happened. You scored a touchdown. Jason Sanders misses the extra point, and you're like, Dolphins, so damn Dolphins. We come back, we have that moment, we get the touchdown, we go ahead. We mix the extra point, and now it's only a 2-point game. Well, on first down, you give up 10 yards. Ew. Then you get the intentional grounding, because we had big pressure. Our defensive line looked awesome on that play, and it was the right call to get the intentional grounding. So then you get Zach Sieler's sack, a huge sack. Woo, he got paid. He went and produced on that play. That causes a 3rd and 29, and you're thinking, you know what? No penalties, no huge plays. Well, you give up 17 to Mike Williams, which you can live with. You're what, 4th and 12 at that point in time? And then Fangio dials one up, and it's Phillips coming hard off that edge, and it's Justin Bethel timing that blitz perfectly and getting that sack on 4th down. So like I said earlier, you got to give the shout outs to the players, those guys in general on that play. But how about Fangs? Fangio for mixing it up and setting things up and knowing exactly when to call those. I got to give a prop. And we're not, like I said, we're not going to win that many games giving up 30 plus points. That can't be the recipe for how you want to win in this league. It's great to outscore teams. You can't do it every single week. So yeah, we have a lot to improve on. But at the end of the day, getting those plays when it matters in your debut with the Miami Dolphins, we got to give the props on that one. Because if you look at the pass defense, you can tell our pass defense is going to be bend but don't break. Herbert goes 23 for 33, so he didn't have too many incompletions. 228 yards and 1 touchdown. That's essentially a bend but don't break stat line. So lots to improve on on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the run game. We'll just enjoy this win though. Let's wrap it up here with some additional player notes, game notes. Tua, Connor Williams, if there's one thing I could tell you guys is maybe just practice your quarterback center exchanges on the plane ride. Hopefully you can just do that. I thought stealing 3 points before halftime was huge. As soon as I saw that we were going to try to get some offense going there, I'm like, just take a knee. Only bad things are going to happen. JC Jackson bails us out. We get 3 points because he had that pass interference. Sorry for skimming over that. But we get that 3 points right before half. That was huge. Going back to the Tua interception as well. The play before the play. If you remember the play before that, Tua put one on the money to River Cracraft and he dropped it. And I don't want to dog on River Cracraft either. It's not what I'm here to do. But I'm saying he catches that ball, a well-placed ball. We don't throw that interception. We're not in that situation. We're potentially looking at a little bit of a different game. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Kader Kohu, the sack on that corner blitz, nearly a safety, the timing of that, the execution of that. And the best thing about that is you then make them punt in a terrible situation from their own 1 yard line. They don't get a great punt off. Mike McDaniel says, our defense just made a great play. Our special teams just got us into this perfect field position. Let's take the top off. Let's hit that touchdown. Tua recognizes the safety moves over. Boom. Dot. Touchdown, Tyreek. You get Tyreek going behind that cornerback. That's 6 every single time. A couple other throws from Tua as I wrap this up. When we're down 4 in the third quarter, it's 3rd and 15. Tua gets flushed out of the pocket, I believe, on that play. Hits Braxton Berrios on the sideline on that deep out for 16 yards and a first down. Great throw, great catch, excellent ball placement. We're down 4 in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 10. We're at our own 25. You know where we're going with this one. We're going to 10. Tua steps up into the pocket, running forward, puts that ball right on the money to Tyreek Hill for 47-yard line, or for 47 yards, which obviously leads to the last touchdown throw from Tua to Tyreek as well, which if that defensive back turns around, probably makes a play on it. But man, we were just hot. Tua puts it right by the ear hole, gets the touchdown. Whew, man, I'm still fired up from this game. Let's wrap things up with a game ball. I want to give out so many. I'm going to hold it to one, but I do want to acknowledge Jaelan Phillips, just his continued effort, his continued fight toward the quarterback. Watch that guy rush the passer. He's constantly getting chipped, getting doubled. There's tight end help. Watch how much effort he puts into every pass rush that he has. Love that he got basically to end that game for us. That just to see that all come to fruition at the end was fantastic. But today's game ball, like I said, it's going to 10. I got the Tyreek shirt on right now. That's what I'm talking about, man. He's playing on a different level. I've already talked about him so much. He is my game ball winner. Let's hear your game ball winner as well. Make that be your comment for your entry into the Jalen Waddle signed 8x10. But that is what I got. Like I said, we could talk forever and a day about this one. Lots to unpack when you have a game like that. But want to know, Dolphins fans. So let's hear your comments. Let's hear your thoughts. And let's go celebrate. Until next time, Dolphins fans, fins up.